I am the Big Dumb Millennial, and this week I talk about mortgages and what are some of the first steps that you can take when you're wanting to buy a house. Chompko was the one that asked me about it. I brought it up in the video. Thank you, Chompko. But I am the Big Dumb Millennial, and welcome to my show.
Once upon a time, there was a dumb millennial. All we wanted to do was learn some stuff so we could grow.
I am the Big Dumb Millennial, and I think we already had an introduction video, so I don't have to cover that. But I do want to say, I am not a financial planner, and everything that I'm about to talk about is solely my opinion and shouldn't be taken as financial advice or real estate advice. But now that I got that out of the way, last week I posted that video on Utah real estate. Don't know what I'm talking about, and just do another similar kind of thing where I had somebody actually ask me. They said, what are some of the variables on getting a mortgage? What is the amount that you want to have? What houses should you be looking at? Blah, 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 blah. So this episode is for Chompko. So the first thing that I wanted to do and to just bring up right now is that you want to have a 20% down payment on your house. Seems silly, but it'll make it so that you automatically have a little bit of equity in your house so that you have some value in it. And then on top of that as well, it'll make it so you don't have to pay mortgage insurance. And what mortgage insurance does is pretty much if you have less than 20% down you're putting on a house, then the banks need to make sure that there's a policy in place that if you can't pay your amount, pay your mortgage, that they're still going to make money off of the house. So that the house gets foreclosed, blah, 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 blah. They're still going to be able to make money off of you selling that house after foreclosure. That's the purpose of the 20% down, is that the value of your loan is less than the value of the property, so that if they obtain the ownership of the house, then they have enough value to sell it and make some money, or just get their money back more specifically. So the 20% down, that's a huge piece right there. But for a lot of millennials that I see nowadays, and a problem that I have, and just a lot of us, is that we are terrible with money. And so there are some loans out there, like an HOA loan, where you can buy properties that are out in rural America and stuff like that, and they'll automatically make it so that you can get a loan with less than 20% down. There's loans out there now that you can get loans with 0% down. And that's the government helping you out on the first house that you're buying, and that's just giving you more options, especially for new home owners. A lot of those options are not available if you're trying to buy like an investment property or something like that. They're specifically made for somebody's primary residence, and also especially for people who are new to buying a house. So those are a couple of things to be aware of. And so, awesome, cool. So let's jump right on into this then. So we're hanging out, blah, 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 oopa, boppa, boop. And so one good thing to do would be looking at the real estate around your property, or around where you're wanting to live. So here, we're in Utah. We're in Wellsville, Utah. So we'll go to Utah real estate, Utah MLS, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool beans, Nito Cabito. Loading up. This would be your great first step. Figure out where you want to live and look at what houses are costing there. To decide even if you can live there or not. Because if your budget doesn't allow you to be able to live off of that, then you probably don't want to do it. I'm getting some frame rate issues. That's a huge bummer. But, cool. So we're going up. So let's go to Wellsville. There's Honeyville. Cool. So you're looking around here. There's Logan. You can kind of see, what do you got? $489, $140,000 home in Mount Sterling, stuff like that. Okay. So it looks like, if you're wanting it hypothetically in the Cache Valley area in Utah, looks like you got a huge option of homes to buy. And so then you're like, okay, cool. What is the amount that I want to buy? What are my mortgage payments going to look like? Genuinely, you can go into Google and type in mortgage calculator, and it'll pull this up, and this will give you a good general idea of where you're at. And so the mortgage amount isn't the cost of the house. The mortgage amount is if you're buying a $250,000 house, and so you put in an offer for $250,000 and they accept it, then you can put on 20%. So 20%, this is going to seem like silly math, but I always like grabbing a calculator. Cool. So we're buying a $250,000 house.
I can learn.
Awesome. Cool beans. And then we multiply that times 20%. So you're hypothetically, you're like, okay, I've got $50,000 that I can put down on this house. And so your mortgage is actually going to be $200,000, not $250,000. So let's do that. 200. Okay. Then your interest rate. You should be able to look at like any bank site and go and actually see. So I don't know, USU Credit Union. And be like, oh, what is the cost of a house? What is my mortgage rate going to be? Go to loans. Oh, wait, even right here. So mortgages, as low as 3%. That's not probably going to happen. Maybe if you got like super duper good credit and stuff like that, I'd be saying your mortgage is probably going to be between 4 and 5%. Mine's 5% because of a manufactured home. And I'd say, if you did 4.25%, that puts you in a safe range of being able to estimate fairly correctly where you're going to be. So let's do that. 4.25%. Cool. And you're going to want to do a 30-year loan. That's my opinion. There's other ones. But there you go. Cool. So you've got a $200,000 loan with an interest rate of 4.25% for 30 years. And it's going to be at $984. Okay. Here's a little juicy little tidbit. You're going to have payments on top of that, like taxes and insurance and stuff like that. And that's going to be another couple $100. If you put in another couple $100, I think that's a reasonable amount for a monthly payment. So your monthly payments on this house are going to be right around $1,200. But be super aware as we're looking into this, and we're like, oh, hey, it's my rate's higher than 4.25%. I'd do the 5% and see what the difference is going to be. It's extra $60 a month. It's a lot of money. So cool. So you've got $50,000. Let's go back to the beginning. You got $50,000, and you're looking at a $250,000 house, and you're like, oh wow, that's a huge mortgage payment. I only make $2,000 a month. I don't want half of my payment going to my house. I want a little bit less than that. And so then you need to be like, what's the cheapest? Here's one option. What's the cheapest house that I can possibly buy? And in Cache Valley, you might be able to find a home for $175,000. That'd be a reasonable, super cheap house, but a reasonable thing that you'd be able to find. So you're going to put $50,000 down, so your mortgage amount is $125,000. And so 5% interest rate, that takes it all the way down to $671. Then your taxes are going to be a little bit lower, and your insurance is going to be a little bit lower. And so that's going to bring it, you're going to be probably paying like $800 a month. These are me whipping numbers out of my butt, but this kind of gives you an idea of what you're actually looking at trying to buy a home. And so that's, if these are the first steps that you should be looking at. Where is the market that you're looking at? Get an idea of what a house costs. You can look at any real estate, Zillow, all that stuff, just to understand what you're looking at. 2, look at, how much money can you put on a down payment? And if you can't put a down payment, do some research on a HOA loan or the government loans, or there might even be some state loans somewhere, something like that. But do a little bit of, just type into Google possible loans for me to receive. Or go to the bank and ask and be like, can I get approved for a loan? Because it's not something that if you go to a bank and you say, hey, I want to get a loan, they're not going to force you to buy a house right there. And then lastly, on top of that, be aware of how much you want your payment to actually be. And so we're looking right here, $671. And that's not terrible, but that would be terrible for somebody that makes $1,500 a month. You wouldn't be able to live off of $1,500 a month with a $671 mortgage payment, because that's going to be more like $800 with your extra taxes and everything on top of that. So that's a rundown on you thinking about trying to buy a house, and that's me doing the rundown with you. Chompko, I hope that helped you out. Next week, if you really want me to, we can go look at the Hawaii market, and I can throw out a bunch of random stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about either. But I am the Big Dumb Millennial, and I hope that this helped you figure out if you want to buy a house. A couple of side notes. If you like this, if you thought this is helpful, please give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe. If you did not like this, give me a don't like, give me a comment that's negative, and let me know why you didn't like it. And if you got any other questions that you're out there wondering about, holler at me. Not a real estate agent yet, but hopefully here one of these days. Once again, I'm the Big Dumb Millennial. Thanks for watching.
Once upon a time, it was a dumb millennial. All we wanted we all know that it just ain't so. 'Cause he's dumb because he's a millennial, yeah, yeah. Dumb millennial, oh yeah, he's a dumb millennial, yeah.